Hey everybody, Bill Peterson here. What I'm going to do today, I've decided, is I'm going to salvage some of the stuff I need out of this motor. And I decided I'm just going to flip it over to do that and then take some of this other stuff off. I need to get the camshaft out, see if I can get some of those cam followers out of that side. I'm going to take this cool little tag off that says Pontiac, yellow truck and coach company. Keep that for posterity, the engine tag. But I'll just take some of this stuff off and strip this block down even farther, make it easier for me to get it back and forth to the junkyard and to the scrap heap, wherever the rest of this goes, crank, cam. I use the cam. I'm going to make another one of those stands I've got for my car show stuff. I have one on my Apache, one on my Nova. So we'll do that, clean that up. And yeah, so I hope to see you in the comments. And again, share the channel with your friends. Give us a like. Really appreciate it. We've been growing the channel slowly. So maybe someday when I'm about 500 years old, I'll be able to make enough money off this thing to buy some spark plugs. Anyway, have a good day, and we'll catch you soon. Okay, well, I realized at some point that I didn't have to be careful with that, so I pounded off that harmonic balancer with a wood splitting wedge instead of using my gear puller. That went a lot quicker. The other thing that I need to do is I'll take that timing cover off, and then the plate that goes onto that holds the cam in there. But you got to turn that motor over for that because there's two bolts that come into that from the other side. You can see those down there, so you have to have the oil pan off of that for it. So I'm gonna have to flip this thing. And I guess I'm just gonna stick the head bolts in it, pick it up, lower it down, and just turn it over, and then figure out how to lift it again from the bottom up. Anyway, I'll set it back on the cradle, or whatever it is, if I can, with all of that stuff on there. And we'll go from there. Okay, so one of the things you realize when you get into one of these is that without it turning, not only can you not get that bell housing off, but you can't get the cam out because you gotta be able to turn it. Cam lines up with two screws in that plate down here, and that plate's held on from the back. So I don't know if I can pull the cam out or not from that gear, but I'm gonna keep working at this. You also can't get to the oil pump. When I broke a little piece off the oil pump to get it out of my way because it was just a real mess. But I'm trying to get it loosened up enough to maybe wiggle that crank around and see what I can do about getting that out. And maybe that bell housing comes out of there with a clutch on it. I don't know. If I take the rest of that inspection plate off that was all rusted away, maybe you can just lift the whole thing out. I haven't tried that. So I don't really know. Anyway, that's what I've been working on, and it's a real mess because it's greasy and gross and 80 years of garbage in there, and it was just a terrible piece of junk. Well, I mean, I guess not terrible. I don't have any feelings one way or another, but it has definitely been kind of a difficult, challenging process without that being able to turn. Okay, so I made some progress on my 228 boat anchor here. I've got the journals all off of this thing. Got the rod caps off. So it does move now a little bit. And I pulled the crank gear off of that so that it'll kind of wobble around down there. And I got it so that the camshaft actually moves, and I lined it up with the holes. Interesting, on this one there's bolts in there. So I'm gonna take those out. That's the camshaft retainer. Let's see if I can pull this cam, and that's probably as far as I want to take it today. But yeah, that's a kind of success, I think, and I'll take it. Anyway, I'll keep you posted. Okay, so I got the cam out. I haven't pulled it all out yet, but the followers were keeping it all jammed up in there. So I got it to rotate around, and I got the lobes, I think, to move so that I could work on them. And I just kind of tapped it and pushed it around so that I could do this. So the camshaft is out and good, which will clear the way for getting this off. Oh, there's a third thing in there and a screw, so it's a little bit different. I think I don't know if they've been in it or what, but now I can tap those out, those cam followers, and that's what I will need out of this thing. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, it was a little bit harder than I thought and a little bit more of a pain, but you know, a little bit of patience goes a long way. And that thing is pretty soon will come out of there. So that's good news. Okay, so I got everything into its component parts. I can now get at these 4 bolts back here, holding that bell housing on. I'll take that out. I'll turn it over onto this thing, probably bang those pistons out of there. I did get the parts out of this that I need, the push rods and those followers. I'll get them soaking in diesel. But that's what the underside of this looks like. And it was a great project today because it reminded me of a lot of the little things about these engines and how really clearly they go together, and where I need to be careful of when I go to rebuild the one that I got back from the machine shop this fall. So it was a pretty great experiment, and I had some fun, even though it was a little bit more challenging than I was hoping. But that's what we did today, and we'll show a little bit more as we get that bell housing off and everything. All right, well, the last thing to do today is get that little tag off of there, which I'm gonna do very carefully with a hammer and a small chisel. I'm gonna keep that just because it's pretty cool, and I bet there's somebody out there someday that might want one. And if not, I'll restore it and hang it from the rearview mirror as a reminder of all that I went through with this particular project. But yeah, I got all the component parts out of it. Crank, camshaft, head, all the things that I'm gonna be saving. Had a great day, great time. And yeah, so I hope you like what I'm doing here and following along with me on these old trucks. Hope to see you in the comments. Tell your friends about us, give us a like. And sometime when I'm pushing up daisies, we'll have enough watchers to actually get somebody's attention. Anyway, thanks for all you coming along with me. Talk to you soon.